Hello and welcome back from our break. I am joined here by our wonderful runners, Jnano and PoetryStud, as well as our commentator and himself. We're doing this run today is a Holidays 08 GM race. What that means is they're going to be playing through the Holidays 08 level pack. Then they're going to be trying to do all of the challenges for that level pack to try to see who wins at both of those first. We will not be doing the full clears or the ace scores, otherwise it would be an EGM. And as an added twist to this already very difficult run, is they will be using Warren or Magic Hat the entire time, with one exception. So get your rigs prepared for that. I'll hand it off to our talented runners now, and they can take the reins and start their runs.
Yeah, I guess I'm. If I could just add one last thing. So yeah, there's 5 levels and then 10 challenges, so you know kind of what we're at any point. And Jnano and I are going to be muted, and it's going to be Polypies and Satan doing most of the commentary for both of us. So you get a neutral, impartial commentary of who is looking better at each part.
Yeah, no bias here.
Exactly. Nah.
Yeah. But yeah, I suppose I think I'm ready. Are you ready, Jnano?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay. I guess Polypies, if you want to give us like a countdown.
Yeah. Good luck. Okay.
Uh,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah, best of luck. The runners are unfortunately gonna need it because there are some really interesting level designs in this level pack. You were already starting off with maybe the most interesting one, maybe. This one with all the big old circles. Kind of reminds you of a Deluxe 4-4, which we saw earlier. Doesn't it?
We have
Yeah,
a run by 2 Peggle legends. You could even call them Peggle gods. But if you want to see that Olympic comparison to the average person, I will be running a very similar category after this, and you can laugh at how much worse it is.
Oh, you're gonna do great.
Well, I'm sure, but not as good as they are. But I'd like to update you on the current donation tally. We are currently with odds winning with a donation of $1.11. Keep it odd, heart. Hopefully the evens can pull it out on top. I'm rooting for you guys.
I'm rooting for the odds, but I want to see an even bigger odd number. I think that would be pretty cool. Although, unfortunately, to get a bigger odd number, you'd have to donate an even number. Oh, math! Always thwarting me. Stir Fry, you win no matter what.
Yes, I do. I was wondering, Satan, this background has some characters that do not look like Peggle characters. Would you care to explain a little bit like that?
Yeah, so PopCap really loves putting references to their other games in games. In almost every single PopCap run, or almost every single PopCap game, you'll find a reference to at least one other PopCap game. This is one of them. Here we are looking at some characters from the Chuzzle games. Games plural? I think it's just Chuzzle. And I love Chuzzle. I speedrun that one as well. It's a match 3 kind of game, but it's got a unique mechanic, so pretty fun. Yeah. Also, right now, it looks like Jnano is pulling ahead a little bit, but both runners still have plenty of time to catch up to each other, especially because we are only in the any % portion of the run. We are going to see the challenges later, which are going to be a lot harder and a lot riskier. Take more time and all that good stuff. Right now, unfortunately, Poetry getting some bad luck on this level with a bunch of moving pegs, which is always the hardest thing to deal with as a Peggle speedrunner, because moving pegs will thwart all of your strategies. You're not able to do as many consistent shots in those levels. But Jnano's got a tricky situation here, too. Polly, who do you think's gonna win? Got any bets?
Honestly, I think Poetry will pull it back, particularly near the end with the interesting challenge we'll see. very, very, very difficult challenge right near the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a there's some stuff coming up. Yeah. This is a funny one for sure. Poetry's not a bad pick because I do think he's practiced a lot of these styles of gameplay, but I think I'm gonna go with Jnano. Jnano, earlier today was in a competitive bingo match. I'm not going to reveal who won that because it was so amazing. I cannot wait to make a highlight of it and post it to YouTube. Y'all should absolutely watch that once it's out. But Jnano is competitively fired up. He has already faced off against another amazing runner, Britcha, who, big shout outs to Britcha, absolutely love them here. One of the best members of the Peggle community and a great friend. But I think Jnano is fired up and absolutely ready to go fast.
Yeah, well, Jnano is extremely fast and seems to learn everything so fast.
Yes, Jnano's like a sponge.
crazy.
It's ridiculous. I know. Even you who are a sponge. I mean, both you and Jnano came into the community and rocked it. Both Polypies and Jnano decided to start running Peggle and just absolutely floored everybody. Nobody was expecting them to come out swinging as hard as they did. So mad respect to both of y'all. Amazing Peggle running skills. That also kind of makes this a bit of a battle against an old god against a new, up and coming runner. I say up and coming, but Jnano is the world record holder in deluxe any percent, so he's pretty good. But Jnano is a bit new blood. Poetry's been here for a long time. Poetry was brought into the community by Doug. Fun fact. A lot of people were when Doug started running the game, which is really, really awesome, and we really appreciate all he's done for making the Peggle speedrunning scene as lively as it is. I'm one of the very few that was here beforehand, and it was still absolutely lovely, but we love the Doug folds a lot as well. Yeah,
so you
I
can
was
see
here for the
Jnano's-
creation of the IMs, the individual master categories, and RMO, long time ago. Yeah, go ahead, Polypies.
Yeah, Jnano's on the challenges now. So the first one's 50 oranges. So instead of 25, there's now 50, which is a lot more. And yeah, considering they're using Warren, that's going to be very difficult because, usually you'd use Chula, who will get lots more oranges.
We also have a question about how to download this pack, which is a great question. If you want to play this one for yourself, it is free. You can just look it up, basically. Although I believe also, do we have this one on SRC? I think we might. Yeah, Poetry is nodding yes.
Yeah.
If you search up Peggle Nights, I think it's category extensions or just Peggle Nights on speedrun.com, you can find the files and you can download it. You do need the Steam version of Peggle Nights to be able to play this. It won't work if you have Peggle Nights on like your Xbox. Sorry, but yeah, you can download it and then you can install it. All level packs are installed the same way. It's basically just going into your user files. There's I think a very easy tutorial about how to do it somewhere. Yeah, I forget exactly how to do it, but I think there's literally a folder called level packs, and then you just put the file into it.
Yeah.
And then you reload the game, and then you can play it. So it's super, super easy. The Spring Fever pack is the same, and so is the Art pack, by the way, which we do currently have an incentive for. If we do reach 3.5k by the end of this race, Poetry and Jnano will fire up the Art pack, which is another official pack from PopCap themselves, and do a race of that. It's got some fun art. I really recommend, even if we don't get to show that off today, still downloading all 3 of those packs and playing them for yourself. There's way more official Peggle content out there than like anyone knows about. It's amazing. I'm also hearing in chat that you can also go to the Wayback Machine if you'd like to get the pack too. So there's lots of ways to access these packs. They're pretty easily findable on the internet for sure.
And speaking of the Wayback Machine, I'd like to jump in here with historic challenges to online preservation and censorship online. We are helping fund the ACLU this year for our Peggle for Charity event. which is hopefully going to push back on some of these restrictions that they're trying to place on the internet, this place that we all care about. Right now, we have raised a staggering $2.2 thousand.
It's just I could not have woken up today and thought of that number. Like, just incredible.
I did not even think we were going to get past 1,000, and I'm just so glad that we have raised this much, but hopefully we can raise more to protect the things that we care about and the people that we care about.
Yeah, it's super important stuff. Just amazing work that they do. And I'm really, really happy we get to support them. Right now, by the way, it's looking like Poetry might pull this challenge out, which would be great. But Jnano is on the third challenge now. Jnano completing another difficult challenge where you have to get style points, which are just like bonus points the game awards you for doing cool stuff. So like if you hit for example, if you hit a non-blue peg and then you hit another non-blue peg really far away from each other, it'll give you a bonus shot for that. There's all sorts of stuff that it'll give you, but yeah, that's an example. So that one required a bunch of style points, and you can see Poetry trying it now. Oh, look at that! Poetry's classic pog face coming out because he just got a really lucky shot that just wins the challenge for him. So that's a huge comeback moment for Poetry right there. It basically wins the challenge. It doesn't totally, but it's close. Jnano is working on a really funny one. Do you want to explain this one, Polypies?
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Poetry was the one who really developed the strategy, which is basically, so you want to get 8 pyramid pickups. A pyramid pickup is you bounce the ball off the pyramid into the bucket. And the point is you don't have to hit any pegs.
I just
or
realized I
bricks or
switched to
anything.
Splork without thinking. I have to redo that last one.
Oh no!
Literally muscle memory. Sorry to butt in.
Rigged! No!
It really is rigged.
Why did he do it? Good catch, though. Now we can make the world right and switch back to Magic Hat. Good call. But yeah, this one actually has a specific strategy, exactly as you said. I think Poetry's found it, where you clear out a corner, and then you can do a specific kind of shot to make it so that you can consistently get those pyramid bonuses. But it's kind of hard to do, and especially if you don't have practice with it, it's kind of hard. For sure. All right, right now Jnano has just about cleared the entire thing and could do it. He's just gotta execute it correctly. It's this little aiming in the corner thing, and then you get this correct bounce that just bounces it right back in there. This was such a pain of a challenge, by the way, before Poetry found this. Absolute, like, revolution in this run. Speaking of Poetry and finding things in this run, he also did make a history video for this run as well. Of course, the any % history video for Peggle Deluxe is maybe like a little bit more known as a run, but this is a really cool run too, and he made a really nice history video about the rise and fall of the people who have done this particular category as well. I mentioned Britcha before. Britcha is the other person who's been really into this one, and it's mostly them, but with some guest stars, and it's a really fun video. I definitely really love that one. Yeah, right now, Jnano on to the Marina Duel. So this is a tough one because the AI can see higher point shots than you, and this is a points-based challenge here. You want to get more points than the AI. Although Jnano getting really lucky and getting the Magic Hat Zen Ball, so that's a really lucky roll there for Jnano to just get Zen from a Magic Hat, and Jnano's definitely got it. No doubt. Pretty much. Unless the AI does something scary. Who knows? They can always do.
Yeah, Poetry needs to somehow manufacture one free ball.
Ooh,
Get out
this
of
is
this challenge.
tricky. Oh, nice.
Oh, wow.
But he still has to actually hit this last orange, which is doable. Nice job! Very well done, Poetry. That was a tough one to get out of, so well done. Now moving into that free balls challenge, which Poetry probably has the upper hand on in relation to Jnano because he came up with the strategy to do this. And then we have Jnano onto a new challenge where you have to score 350k points with only 7 shots, which is really hard to do. regardless of what master you pick. And now they're on a master where they might not have picked them for this one. So this is a tricky one. This could definitely flip the winner here for sure. Stir, if you have anything to say, this is a great time.
Yeah, we are doing great with our donations. We have a new donation just now, literally just this second, from Mannequin Z.
Sniped.
$23.77. They have been so kind and generous, giving us their time this stream, and now they're being even more generous and giving us some of their money to the ACLU. They say, Team Odds have had it for too long. Good luck to both runners on this race. This race has been a fantastic marathon, and I've been so happy to be a part of it. Heart or less than 3. And we are now at all even numbers. Evens are ahead as they rightfully should be, with $2,266.88. All even numbers.
And also, chat, I just want to tell y'all, I'm currently calculating because, as I said before, all these subs and bits that have been given towards the stream are going to all go to charity as well. So I am currently calculating the amount that I will be donating towards the event right now. So hold your hats. We will have a higher donation total for sure. But if you want to make that donation total even higher, we've got time. This run is still going on, and we've got a bonus run after it. So let's go ahead and make it as high as we can. And odds versus evens, make sure to donate to get your favorite number on that screen right there. That's so funny. I said hold your hats. I didn't even realize what I was doing. I didn't even remember that we were doing a magic hat thing. Necessarily. I'm just too Doug-pilled at this point. It's just coming to me, naturally.
Yeah, Jnano can't be stopped. They're actually flying through the challenges.
Yeah, Jnano is fast. I mean, we all know that. Jnano is amazingly fast. Also, yeah, y'all broke my record for Hype Train as well. Amazing. Oh, and there's another Prime sub just now. Thank you so much for that. That's amazing. Yeah, and if y'all want to get in your Prime subs, your regular subs, your bits, anything now, all of it, there's some processing fee, unfortunately, because Twitch does take money. But minus the processing fee. All of it's going to go to charity. Yay! Primes is great also because, I mean, that's a Prime sub. That's a free donation to charity. That's really super cool.
I'm looking at these screens and I'm trying to figure out some of these character references on the screen backgrounds. Would you be able to tell us a little bit more about some of the PopCap projects that have been a part of the PopCap development, and that specifically Brian, the creator of PopCap, has worked on?
I mean, Polypies, do you want to take that, or should I?
I'm not sure I know actually that much.
That's valid. All right, yeah. I will live up to my PopCap name. Yeah, right now on the left side of your screen, you're seeing Poetry do that duel. And this level is actually a Bookworm reference. So Bookworm being an educational game. Oh, very lucky there. Being an educational game released by PopCap a while back. Really. A really good game. It's a favorite of many people's childhoods. Definitely a good one, and it's really cute that they've referenced it here. And also, on your right side of the screen, by the way, this is the only level in Peggle history, ever, to feature every single Peggle master. So, that's a cool factoid.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
well, yeah, Jnano has slowed down on this stay under 100k, which is just brutal. Especially because it's Warren, and Warren has triple score, making it even worse if you get that.
Peggle's so fun. I'm having such a good time hanging out with y'all. Thank you for being here.
Okay, Poetry might win the duel.
That would be good. Ooh, this is close. Poetry's gonna have to find a way to bounce up to that last orange there and get the fever points if he wants to win. It's gonna be hard because all the pegs are moving. Yeah, that was a really tricky shot. I'm not surprised. Oh, the AI didn't get it though, and left an opening for Poetry. The AI didn't see the shot. Poetry just got it. That's amazing.
That was wild.
So even sometimes the Peggle AI cannot see the winning shot if they are just that bad. Yay, Poetry wins. The duel, specifically. Also, Jnano's doing one of the absolute hardest challenges in the run. He is doing the stay under 100,000 challenge here, where you, well, have to stay under 100,000 points. And that's quite a hard thing to do when you've got a level with this many pegs. And also when you've got Warren, whose one of his abilities is tripling your score. So, you know, this is a very tough position for the runners to be in. We will see who is able to get out of this one first, although Poetry needs to catch up a little bit to get there in the first place.
Nice. 10 free ball skills in a row, that's a lot of points.
Yeah, no, getting that 100k is always a huge deal.
Oh.
Satan, I was wondering how you or Polypies might approach some of these hard levels, like the low score challenge. Would you be able to tell us what your strategy might be for these levels?
Yeah, absolutely. So, kind of the idea when you're doing low score is you want to make sure you're focusing on basically just doing what you need to do. So, you know, just oranges, get in, get out, essentially. And of course, as we mentioned before, oranges do, getting more oranges does up your score per peg. So it's really, really dangerous to hit the purple peg in particular, because that is going to give you a lot of points. So your main aim is to just get the oranges, don't get as many of the other pegs as you can, don't get style points, so avoid those long shots and stuff like that. And you also, if you're in one as strict as the ones the runners are doing right now, you want to think about your fever as well, because the fever score is at minimum 10k and at maximum much more than 100. So you have to make sure you have a path towards that 10k bucket, unless you've stayed really, really low score. You also want to make sure you end the level with only one ball left, because extra balls give you extra points. Not good. Oh, does Jnano get this? Oh, 80 points over? That is brutal. Oh, that's brutal. That's rough. Dang.
That's gotta hurt.
Don't land with the 10k. Oh no.
Both runners here seem to be having a bit of a hard time with their respective challenges. Hopefully we can see one of them pull through soon.
Yeah, it's almost like it's fun and easy to get points. And so having the game tell you specifically not to get points, especially with Magic Hat, who is the points guy, you know, that's hard. That is a tough one. Although, of course, also it's really hard to get a lot of points when you don't have as many balls as you normally have, which is what poetry is dealing with. So it's kind of two sides of the same coin here. Kind of funny.
Yeah, poetry really just needs a lucky triple score. Oh.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten it yet. He was a bit low on balls, but doing a very good job of freeballing. So that's helping a lot.
I see a question in chat by Darby, 10 to 80. They're going as Warren because we met an incentive, meaning that they have to go as Warren for as much of this run as possible.
That is right. That is right. Yep, we did put out that incentive and y'all absolutely crushed it. Y'all have crushed all of the incentives this time so well, and I'm just so happy we were able to show everything that we were able to show. Everything that we've been able to do this event has been absolutely beyond my wildest expectations. So I got very emotional before. I'll probably get very emotional again at the end of the marathon. Y'all have just absolutely made, you know, everything for me here. It's amazing. All right, poetry currently doing the 3 magic fireballs challenge.
You missed an
And
orange.
forgetting an orange. Aw, poor poetry. This one's fun because you just get a magic hat and a fireball. So we do have magic hat for this one, regardless of whoever poetry picks to do it with. It's legal. And if you're wondering how he's still getting points, or he's still getting balls even without getting the ball into the free ball bucket, he is getting free balls from points instead. Where you get 25,000 in a single shot, you get 1 free ball. If you get 75, you get 2. If you get 125, you get 3. So, you know, you can keep your ball count alive even if you oh, this is gonna be a bit of a rough start for poetry here. Might be doable though. Definitely carves out a bit of a path, which is nice. Yeah, Magic Hat is bad because it hits more pegs. Long Shot is bad because it's a long shot. It gives you points. Yeah, I think that's a good tactical restart. Now both runners on the same challenge, by the way. So what'd I tell ya? I knew that this one was going to be a possible evener, and it looks like that has come to fruition. We've got poetry all caught up. That means this is going to be a close race, folks. Which is what we want to see. Also, the music is just banging in this game. I love the music in this game. The sound effects are amazing, don't get me wrong, but music also should really be shouted out. It's just so many bops, catchy tunes, and I like how it changes every time you boot the level up again. I like that they have like 10 cycling tracks. I think that's a really nice little game feature that keeps it feeling fresh. Still appreciate that, you know, however many years later. I say however many, I know exactly how many. This is Holidays 08. It was 2008. So I know exactly. All right. Poetry. Oh, not quite getting it. That was super close. Oh. Both runners still looking for this one. This is the hardest one. And of course, y'all tortured our runners with making it possible to get triple score. And yep, you have to reset that right there. If you get triple score, it's no good. We can't have it. Nope, there's another one on Jnano's screen. Getting triple scored.
I don't even know what strategy you're meant to do here.
Yeah, this is the most brutal challenge in this run, by far. There are lots of really brutal ones, and there's going to be another one coming up later, but in my opinion, this one is the crown jewel of cruel. Basically. Oh, hat trick. Another tough thing is if you have the magic hat, and you get into the free ball bucket, it gives you a style shot point for that. Doesn't matter how you got in there. It just does anyway. Another style shot you can get is getting 2 greens in the same shot. So that just happened to Jnano, and that's why he had to reset that one. Poetry's looking okay on points, but unfortunately not really on balls. He kind of needs to finish the level. Not quite.
Yeah, it'd be great if he could just not finish the level.
That would be great. That would be great. But no, he has to. Also, Stir, is there anything you'd like to talk about?
I do have one question watching all of this, in that
Yes, what is that?
when you go into a run like this, you have to be prepared to do a level multiple times. Is there any way to mentally prepare yourself before a run when you know you might have to repeat levels multiple times?
That's a good question, and of course the runners would also have an answer to this that I can't give. But it is a really tough thing to do. Like in a sort of normal any percent scenario, you're really not looking to lose levels, of course, because that's the biggest time loss you can have. But you also are mostly expecting not to. In a run where you're basically just grinding out a challenge, trying to use your best strategy that you can and still also get a little lucky on top of that, it's kind of tough mentally. It's a good question, actually.
Yeah.
I know that
Yeah,
WoW
Polypies?
EGM crushed me.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
yeah,
for
Polypies?
me, you have to be ready to adjust your way of thinking when things aren't going your way, which is very difficult because you think you already know the best way to do the challenge.
Right now we seem to have what might be the worst master for this challenge. Maybe you could argue that Cinder might be worst with the points that he gets from his fireball, but what would you say is the best master to have on a challenge like this?
Probably Bjorn Unicorn. Of course, Bjorn can still not be good, but there's 2 distinct advantages. The first is that you're not likely to get a lot of points from something that Bjorn specifically does. And then the second is that you can see where your shot goes. So if you save a green for really late and bring Bjorn, then you're more able to plan out that final shot to be able to go into the 10k bucket for the fear. So that's normally what I would choose.
Received a massive donation from Satan herself, our lovely runner of this channel and commentator and host. She does it all, jack of all trades. But this is not just Satan, because this is the amazing efforts of all our chat's cumulative contributions, their bits, their subscriptions, their primes, all of it. Satan has put forth $113.39, all odd numbers, I will point out, bringing our total to 2,380.
That was just a coincidence. I didn't rig that.
Which is also an odd number. She says, this is all of your contributions through subs and bits. Thank you all so much from the bottom of my heart. Less than 3. I think I have to agree. This has been such a heartwarming moment for all of us, I think. I came into this not expecting so much, and we've come so far and had so many donations that it really warms my heart to see the communities coming together and rallying for this. I know when we started this event last year in 2023, we did not expect it ever to snowball to this amount so quickly.
Yeah,
we
I
started
mean,
this-
even last year, 400 way exceeded our expectations last year, which was our amount
Absolutely.
last year. Way exceeded it. We were absolutely thrilled, and I still am thrilled for what we were able to do last year. But this is just amazing. Those subs and bits, by the way, that's more than a fourth of what we were able to raise last year alone, just from the subs and bits that y'all gave us.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
I know that last year when we started this, it was due to some tragic circumstances when one of my friends passed away, and I came to Satan and I said, I really like to do something with a platform that we can share and raise some money and get things moving and try to help out people that need help. And Satan, a wonderful person, I honestly have not met many, if any, people that I think are better people than Satan. Satan wholeheartedly agreed, and we've been working together last year and this year to continue to raise money for people who might need help. And I really have to give a shout out to Satan this time, because really she pulled a lot of the strings while I had a lot going on behind the scenes. I was sick, I had legal matters, in the true Doug sense of the word. And without Satan, none of this would have happened.
Aw. Thank you all so much, and thank you specifically, Stir, for that. That was extremely sweet, and I am just like, of course, of course. Like, both of us care about this so much, so of course we did it. And of course it was awesome. And I'm just, so happy to have done it. Stir, you are an amazing co-host, an amazing co-creator, amazing co-games committee member. You've just been so wonderful to work with. And I'm really proud to be here with you. You deserve all of this just as much as I do, and I'm really glad I was able to support you when you needed it as well. We also do have a question in chat. Sorry, I know that's a total shift.
Yes.
But we
Oh,
do
no,
have
no
a question in chat about the 3.5k goal, which we do have a bonus run on the line for. If we are able to get $3,500 on the donation total, we will have our two runners here that are currently doing this Holidays 08 GM run do a bonus run of the art pack levels. Oh, that could have been really good. That was a tough one for poetry there. Which is the only official Peggle content, by the way, that we have not shown off on the Peggle Marathon today. That is it. For the classic Peggle games, not, Peggle 2 and Blast and stuff like that. It's just another 5 levels. It's got some really cool background art, some references to more PopCap games, and some fun art of characters like you've never seen them before. It's really cool. It was a fan submission thing, by the way. The backgrounds for that, way back when fans put in their submissions and the PopCap people chose their favorites. So I think that's super sweet. Yeah, so we would absolutely love to see that if that does happen.
And now that we've gone through a full story arc, we've laughed, we've cried, we've done everything you can. Let's see how these runners have fared on this level since we started our journey.
Unfortunately,
seems-
not any better. This one is just really, really hard. Although Poetry might get this if he is able to make this last shot correctly. So he has a peg where he can get a shot directly into the 10K, and that would make it so he wins. First, he had to get a no ball there, which he did, by shooting at nothing, and then the game saying, okay, you're bad, we won't give you a free ball. Because every ball at the end is worth 10,000, and he got it! Oh my
he's so
gosh!
good.
That
Oh my
was
gosh.
clutch! That was so clutch! Well done,
Salvation.
Poetry. Yes, salvation indeed. So one of our runners has moved on from the evil challenge into the slightly less evil challenges. Although this one's pretty evil too. This one, Magic Hat fans will love because this one's built around one of Warren's powers, the triple score. So this is the anti-challenge of the last one, where you actually have to just get as much score as you can. You need to get 1,300,000 more than 1,300,000 points in this one. So that's a lot, but it gives you permanent triple score the whole time. So, yay. It's It's really hard, by the way. Like, really hard. This is one of the 2 other really hard challenges in this run. This is a hard run, if you didn't know. Yeah, so even though Poetry did clutch that low score out really well, anything could happen here still. Absolutely anything. Because we have this challenge coming up next, or this challenge here, and we have a challenge coming up next that is just as tricky. Poetry trying to make a really hard fireball shot there. Didn't quite work out. That's unfortunate. But his multiplier is so high that he can get free balls from almost any shot as long as he includes a purple and hits something else. So that's an interesting strategy here is, can I make a shot where I get a purple and I hit another peg? Yes, I get to keep playing. It still might not be enough points though, so we'll have to just see. Flower power could be useful here for Jnano. Flower power, of course, being 2 list power, where you get 20% of the remaining oranges. And he didn't quite have enough balls, so that was actually an attempt saver. And now he's got 1 more orange, but it's in kind of a tricky spot. It'll take a lot of luck to be able to get to the 10k, and not get enough points along the way. Let's see if he can pull it out! Oh, just over! That was so close! I thought that was gonna do it. Also, very funny point out in chat that the amount of points that we need to get this challenge that Poetry is on right now is super odd. Just like our donation total. Right now, the donation total is indeed odd, so even gang, if you'd like to try to end the night with your preference, with even, go on ahead. Donate. Exclamation mark donate to donate, by the way. That's the easiest way to get to our donation link. Although you can also check out the entire campaign by writing exclamation mark campaign in chat. Many ways to get to the donation place. That was so heartbreaking on Jnano's side. I really thought he was gonna get it there. That was, oh. That was brutal. Right now, Jnano is looking at a pretty good attempt here. But he does only have 2 balls and 3 orange pegs. So that's tricky. Ooh, and just got a really unlucky long shot there. Oh, that was brutal, because that was a good attempt for sure. Yeah, as much as y'all love Magic Hat, and I know you do, and that is valid, Magic Hat is really not helping in this low score challenge. Poetry trying for this one here, although I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get it. It might not be enough points on the board for him to be able to do this, but I don't know. I'm not going to be able to do those calculations on the fly anyway. Nice. Cool clear helps a lot, and that's a full clear, so that helps. Oh, not quite. Yeah, just a little bit shy on that, but it was super close. We should probably see Poetry get this one pretty soon here.
Oh, we have a new donation from FizzFault, $64.17. They're commenting, "We need some even-headedness to make up for the crazy point goal. I completely agree. Our total right now is completely even, $2,444.44.
Wow.
What a good day to be an even number lover."
No kidding. That is a really nice and beautiful even number there. Very well done, chat. I'm proud of even gang, but also I know odd gang is strong. I know odd gang wants to bring that back. So, odd gang, Where are ya? Let's do it. This is a tricky one here for poetry. The full clear is definitely one of the highest point things that you can get here. So poetry is really looking to clear out every single peg in this level to be able to do that challenge. So if he just doesn't quite get the start for it, then, you know, it doesn't go great every time. Yeah, we have a question in the chat about Peggle Blast. We are not featuring the more modern Peggle games, Peggle 2, although Peggle 2 is not more modern at this point, or Peggle Blast, just because they're not quite the focus of what we're going for. Peggle Blast is a perfectly valid game, and so is Peggle 2, although, of course, Peggle Blast is a mobile game, which does mean it does have some pay-to-win mechanics, which make it less accessible, certainly, and less feasible to speedrun.
And many glitches.
True. Blast does also have a lot of glitches. That is true. It's also very interesting that the runners are playing with Warren here, because Warren only has a couple of abilities that can actually benefit you here. And one of them is triple score, and we already have triple score all the time, and the game does not let you double up. So... So you kind of have to get something like Magic Hat or one of the other master powers to be able to do this. Also, does Jnano get it? Yes! Jnano just barely gets the low score. That means both runners are now back on the same challenge. Let's go. Huge.
This is gonna be a tight race.
Yes, this is a tight one. I also promise you the runners would be going faster if they were gonna use the masters that they had planned to. But we still absolutely love what's going on here. Making them do it with Warren is just so funny. And for some challenges, Warren's really good. Especially the points challenges that we saw, where you have to get a lot of points and the game doesn't freely give you triple score. Warren is a really great choice. I see in chat, we don't care about faster, we care about hats. That's valid.
The more hats we get, the better.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That's a fact. That's a hat fact. Alright, Poetry tried to get it there, but unfortunately ended the level a little too early, didn't get the full clear, not quite enough points there. Close, but no cigar. Helios is saying he has 4 magic hats total. That's very impressive.
I don't think I even have 4 hats total.
Hats off to you, Helios, for that one. That was really risky. Jnano just did a shot that could have ended the level prematurely, but it didn't. Jnano's kind of wondering whether he has enough points still on the board to be able to get a win with this current attempt that he has, and he decided he didn't, and just reset instead of trying for it. One thing that's really great as a Peggle speedrunner, if you can do, is knowing exactly when to reset. When to say, oh, I'm not actually going to be able to complete this level, or oh, I'm not actually going to be able to get the challenge requirement, is really, really important for being a good Peggle runner, especially in these sorts of runs where you just have some really hard stuff that you might need lots and lots of attempts to be able to complete. Right now here, Jnano getting an interesting roll from Warren, the flippers from a different Peggle master, Claude Lobster. And that kind of turns the game into a pseudo pinball experience, which could be really, really good here if Jnano gets lucky and is able to capitalize on these flippers. Ooh, look at that shot. Nice slide from Jnano's end here.
The flippers seem to have a lot of really niche applications. I know usually it is not the master or the ability that you want in most levels, but in levels where you really need to keep the ball in play, or especially in levels where you get to pin the ball in a corridor where the flippers work really well, it seems to be that the flippers are lifesavers.
Yeah, the flippers, I think you make a really good point, are the most niche sort of thing. I do completely agree with that. They will sometimes really save you when you really need it, and sometimes they are just slow. All right, Jnano getting that just barely, but on a very good attempt. Well done. And now we are moving into the last of the evil three. This is unfortunately our only time in the run where we will not even be able to play with Magic Hat. The runners could not choose to put Warren on the board, even if they wanted to, which is tragic. Unfortunately, we have to full clear this level with a bunch of movers, with only Renfield. And Renfield, if you've played Peggle Deluxe, you might remember very fondly. And that's because in Peggle Deluxe, Renfield has Microzen built into him. So what that means is his shots that come down off of the top of the board, like you just saw, are sort of rigged, that's the word of the day, to be a little bit better than they would otherwise be. And it's on points as well, specifically. So that usually improves the shot to a degree that Renfield's fairly helpful. And doesn't lose a ton of time. Unfortunately, in Peggle Knights, they completely removed that mechanic, and they knew they did too, because they moved Renfield down on the list of Peggle Masters to not be the 6th appearing, but the 3rd appearing in Peggle Knights. So they just nerfed him for reasons beyond my personal comprehension.
I'm still salty about it.
You should be, honestly. Renfield's a solid mid tier in Deluxe, in terms of speed. Well, he's pretty slow, to be honest. But he's not terrible, especially not in terms of utility. He can definitely get you out of jams, a lot of the time. But in Knights, because he's just random, completely, essentially, that, you know, that's not as good.
There are some really good applications for Renfield in Knights if you know how to use them. For instance, the wave level has a almost guaranteed green on the opener slide. So if you know the bucket timing, you can get a really good guaranteed cycle through the top area. But
also, Poetry finally getting a really good attempt there and blazing on through. Oh, Jnano, brutal. Jnano had a really good setup there and just didn't quite clutch it out. So now the runners are even again. Who'd have thunk?
This is really coming down to the wire here.
It really is. This is a really nice race. I'm really enjoying seeing the runners go back and forth and really like muscle through these extremely difficult challenges. These are some of the hardest challenges in the entire Peggle series, and they are just doing a great job of going through. Also, we had a funny mention in chat. One of our fellow Peggle runners and amazing community member, Annie George, who was there for the practice race between these two of them, said that in practice, Poetry got this one first try while Jnano was stuck in it for 10 minutes. And that's just how things go sometimes. Peggle is very skill-based, very skill-based, and oftentimes very strategy-based as well. But it is also pretty luck-based. So sometimes you just get lucky, or you don't.
I think that's one of the things that makes the Peggle speedrun in particular very beautiful. With a lot of runs, you see optimization after optimization. That means you don't have that much time to build up afterwards. But with Peggle, there's so much of a luck factor that you don't know how much time you could save on any given run. You could beat the current record by 30 minutes. Theoretically.
No,
but
well, not really by 30 minutes on every category.
I think the community sum of best is below half an hour, so...
I'm not sure if it is yet. I think it might be. It might be officially now. But that's still not 30 minutes. But yeah.
But my point stands is that there's a really cool factor of luck that goes into this.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one thing that's really nice about Peggle is, yeah, there's luck, and there's also randomness. And I mean different things by those different things. Luck meaning just kind of like where the chips fall in terms of where the ball is falling. RNG being like every single time you boot up a Peggle level, you're going to have a different organization of orange pegs versus everything else. So you're always going to have a different random organization of pegs to look out for, and you're always going to have to be able to adjust your gameplay on the fly to that. So, no two runs are ever going to look the same. Even if you had strategies to, like, route out all the levels for one generation of RNG, that's not going to help you if your oranges spawn somewhere else. So, like, it's an evergreen run, essentially. Just always able to stay relevant and interesting. If you're looking for a speedrun game, if you haven't tried out speedrunning before, I highly recommend Peggle. It was my first speed game, a really, really good introduction to speed games as a whole, I think. It's a very high skill, high effort run, but there's so much room to improve. There's so much room to improvise. There's so much room to explore new games and categories within Peggle speedrunning. It's super fun.
I think that Peggle also has the unique ability to be something that doesn't feel insurmountable. At the end of the day, you really are just firing shots, and you're not doing any crazy tricks or combos. Despite how difficult the game is, it really is the motivator that keeps you going. I know Peggle was my first speedrun as well, and the way that I got into it is I saw Doug do it, and I thought, I could do that. And I tried my best, and it took a while, and it turns out I could, because Peggle can keep you motivated after so long because of its ability to incorporate strats easily and not be too complex on different things you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. You can do the hardest shots in the game. There are totally super hard strats that you can do. Jnano in particular on the run stage right now really thrives on that. He makes a lot of really complicated pixel shot like trees and different pixel shot sort of like setups where you have to do them. You have to do several ones to get a cool slide and stuff like that, which are wonderful and have, of course, contributed to him being the world record holder and a Lux any percent. However, you do not need to do that. A, you don't need to do it if you don't want to, and B, you don't even need to do it to get a top time. PoetryStud here doesn't really do a lot of pixel shots, and yet he has lots of top times in lots of categories. He's just really good at the base mechanics of Peggle, and uses, of course, a lot of the more easily accessible to do strats really smartly. So if you're interested in running at both a really like technical level or at just kind of like a, do what you feel like doing level, Peggle's got it all. And a lot of the strats, by the way, are super easy to execute. A lot of the strategies that exist for these games, and a lot of the ones that I've made because I really want the game to be super accessible, so I've kind of focused on hunting strats like this, are aiming to the left and right side of the screen and tapping on your keyboard. It is that easy. You do not need to do frame perfect tricks. You don't need to do pixel perfect shots if you don't want to. That you can still, use strategies that are just that simple in Peggle. It's great. Right now, of course, both runners having a bit of a tricky time with this one, which is not anything unexpected. This is one of the hardest challenges in Peggle history, and one of the hardest ones in this game as well. Yeah, coincidentally, it has some of both. But yeah, Renfield really doesn't help you out a ton here. Oh, poor Jnano, that was another really close one. And all of these pegs are moving pretty much. They're all really hard to get free ball shots as it is, and there's portals everywhere. So your free ball shots are limited too. It's really hard. It's also not like the Polypies run that we saw earlier with all that full clearing, where the game will be fine if you just hit the last orange and lets you continue. This one does not give you that luxury. You do have to leave an orange for the end as well. So that's another dimension of things to think about.
You actually can, sorry.
Oh, you can? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. Actually, yeah, it's just that it's just the reason that I think there's that misconception, because I also thought that, is because there's not any full clear challenges in normal nights in the base game.
Oh, yeah, that's probably right. That's probably where that happened then. In my brain. Okay, well, it does let you do that. It's still hard. Regardless. Also, yeah, this level has a little Chuzzle reference. As again, we've got the little Chuzzle puff balls in the tree. in this very thematic to the time period that we're in now. Level pack. Ooh, nice shot there from Jnano, doing that little scoop. Unfortunately, it's still just a lot of tricky pegs, and Jnano made the call to reset. We are really seeing Jnano prioritize resetting when he's not sure that he's going to be able to do that particular attempt, whereas Poetry is sticking with most of his attempts. So far, it's working out about equal for both of them.
Poetry has made a series of good free balls and a couple really, really lucky ones. And hopefully we can see him pull through on this. He seems not to have pretty much any pegs left.
Oh, sometimes you can have that happen to you where it just misses one. That was brutal.
Heartbreaking.
Oh my goodness. That was just the worst. Everyone give your condolences to Poetry in the chat for that one. That's the other side of the coin, though. We were gassing Peggle up, and I still want to. It's still a great speed game, and a great casual game, too. Just a great fun experience. Play the game casually if you want to. Please do. But also, sometimes the game can be really mean, and there's just nothing that Poetry could have done there, really, to make that, like, a consistent, completely consistent slide, completely consistent shot. Sometimes the game will just give you that kind of RNG. And it happens. I see PoetryStud condolences in chat. Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts in his time of need. Very kind. That's too bad. Both of these runners have had extremely close calls in this challenge. Like, either one of them could have been out of here, minutes ago. But unfortunately, Peggle is Peggle.
I want to give a chance to gas up PoetryStud a little bit, if I'm allowed to.
If I'm allowed to. I think you're allowed.
I think that it's really cool that Poetry is this top-level runner in Peggle, but also a really, really talented Dark Souls player.
True.
Recently, Poetry has done, maybe this wasn't like as recent as I'm remembering it, but beating every single boss in every single one of the games, and that was incredibly interesting to watch, especially when I was playing through one of the games at the time. It was cool to see how someone who was a lot more talented than I was approached bosses, and it really helps me out beating some of those bosses, seeing new strategies that I could pick up. And with Poetry's whole goal, what was it, last year, of honeypotting everyone into Dark Souls, he may not have gotten that much people, but he definitely got me, because I've now beaten 3 and 2, and I got to the final boss of Elden Ring before my PS5 was stolen, so rip Elden Ring.
That is actually very tragic. I am sorry for that.
It's
Maybe
alright,
one
I
day
just
you'll
get
get
to
to
play the
finish
whole
it.
game again.
So true, exactly. At least there's that.
I just think that it's really cool that
yeah, Poetry
Poetry
is
has...
really awesome at these games. Totally. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that I think it's really cool that Poetry can have these multifaceted gaming skills on top of the very talented job that Poetry does in his real life that I cannot tell you about because I am not one of his students.
And you can decide what that means for yourself.
I do know a lot of professors very closely, though. My father is a professor. I know a lot of his work friends, and being a professor is not an easy job. It's not very well rewarded, but Poetry seems to have a passion for it and take the whole thing in a very positive kind of stride, and I really appreciate that about him.
I do too.
Uh,
Now, I don't know Jnano that well, but if you want to elaborate on our other runner here, Satan, I think that would be very lovely.
I do have something really positive to say about Jnano, in particular that I've just thought about. But I do want to just update chat that Poetry did beat our hard challenge here and is moving on to the final challenge in the game. So once Poetry beats this, or once Jnano catches up and wins, that will be time, and we will move right on to Stir Fry's run right after that. Unfortunately, we're going pretty overtime here, so definitely want to make sure we get that run done in a timely fashion. So that means, chat, you do not have a ton more time to donate. We are getting close to the end. Also, the final challenge is to get 1 million points cumulatively across all 5 levels. So that doesn't sound super easy. It's actually decently easy, especially because some of the challenges, or some of the levels, give you a lot of points opportunities, and we are playing with Warren, who helps with points. Yay, thank you, chat, for donating for that bonus incentive upgrade. But aside from all that, Jnano is, like, super down, like, to just do stuff. And that's something I really, really appreciate about him. Like, every time that I've approached him, and it hasn't been that long that Jnano's been in the community. He's only been in the community, what, like 5 months, 6 months or something like that? And he's already, by the way, the deluxe 80% world record holder. This tells you something about how incredibly fast Jnano is. But he's always just been super ready to jump into any community activity. He was ready to jump in as a backup for a marathon bingo when we needed him to be. He's really just, like, willing to be there for us, and has really, like, just committed really heavily to, you know, this community and this speed run, which, as of course now the world record holder, is super awesome. I think, like, Peggle is uniquely amazing, not uniquely, but especially amazing, because all of the top level runners pretty much that I know of over the years have been extremely, like, willing to be involved in the community, have been super excited about Peggle. I mean, Panaha, Polypies, Jnano, Britcha, Brassbeat, I could name, you know, Poetry. I could name so many names off the top of my head of people who have both held top times and are just super involved in the community. So yeah, and Helios WX as well. Everybody is super enthused about Peggle here. And yeah, I really, really like all these people. Like, there's a reason that I really wanted to do this marathon. Not just because Peggle is awesome and I wanted to raise money for charity, but I also wanted to celebrate the community and the people in it. I really love, you know, all of y'all and what we've been able to build here.
That's very nice. Thank you, Satan.
Of course. I mean, it's from me. Bottom of my heart. Alright, Poetry is moving on to the 3rd level in the million challenge, and he's already got about half of what he needs, so that's looking pretty good. He just has to make sure that he's not clearing any levels too early, that he's trying to get the purple as much as he can, and he'll probably be okay. But, you know, you never know what could happen. Especially with Magic Hat at home. The force of chaos. So, definitely, we're not counting Jnano out. There could still very much be a comeback. Oh, hey! Hello, Shredberg and Raiders! Welcome into Peggle for Charity 2024. We're doing a charity stream today, raising money for the ACLU, and we're doing it with all sorts of Peggle runs. This is the Pegglethon, so you are seeing our second to last run of the day, and we're just really, really happy with what we've been able to do. There's been so much amazing support for the Pegglethon today. There's still time to donate. We have this run, which is going to finish up pretty soon here, probably. And then we have another bonus run at the end that we got unlocked. So definitely, if you would like to donate, !donate in chat. Yeah, thank you so much for rating in, Shredberg. I hope you had a good time with your Super Meat Boy and good discussions. Also, really looking forward to Shredberg's AGDQ 2024, or 2025 run of Super Meat Boy. Which I will, by the way, be on host mic 4.
I just want to point out real fast that we are extremely close to an even $2,500.
That is true.
We are only, what is that, $55.56 away.
That definitely sounds surmountable, chat. Do you want us to get a nice, even $2,500 at the end, or do you want us to have a not nice and not even $2,500.01 at the end? That is my challenge for you, chat. Which one are we going to get?
Seems that Poetry is getting some good RNG with this this point challenge. Hopefully he can pull out the 1 million. He seems very close to it.
Yeah, this flippers is nice here because it's just allowing him to continue this shot for a long time. Be able to, you know, build up points on this one. Whoa! Look at that ball go. Love that momentum. And that looks really good. It looks like if Poetry just completes this level and the next level normally, he will go ahead and finish this run out. So very well done to both of our runners here. Y'all absolutely killed it. This is such a hard run in the first place, and then y'all adapted on the fly and did our magic hat incentive as well, which we were so happy to be able to bring to y'all, and just made this such an entertaining time. So thank you both so much.
That was a lucky bounce.
That was lucky. I really do hope Jnano gets this one, though. Jnano's had so many close calls with this challenge. It really could have been anyone's race here, by the way. I just want to say that to chat. Like, this is such an evenly matched pair right here. And Jnano absolutely could have been either done already or be, you know, running alongside Poetry on this final challenge. This is just a really random and difficult challenge that we're trying to do here on Jnano's end. Jnano has an attempt that's looking really good, by the way. Yeah, Poetry has crossed 1 million, so all he needs to do is finish out this level, and then we will be done. I do want Jnano to get this challenge before Poetry does that, though, because it is looking close.
As a personal Renfield lover, I do see some poetic beauty in Renfield being one of the main masters on a Warren-centric challenge.
GG, that is Poetry as winning the race there. GG Poetry, and also Jnano finishing out the challenge at the same time. So I think that's a big win for both runners there. I'm really glad to see both of y'all get through the evil challenges, because those sure are evil. Can we get some GGs in chat?
Yeah, GG. Yeah, I think Jnano and I both knew that it was going to come down to the Renfield full clear in the end.
Yeah.
They all kept it close till then, and those, you know, the low score was really difficult with Magic Hat. So I'm glad y'all muscled through it. Good job.
Yeah.
If you're, oh, I'm sorry, Jnano, you can go first if you need.
I just think Poetry, when it comes to full clears and point stuff, he knows what decisions to make, and he always executes it almost perfectly every time. So.
Well, almost every time. I definitely made quite a few blunders in that, but I appreciate it. Yeah, that's. I just want to say too that Jnano is like one of like Satan was saying during the run. Jnano is pretty new to speedrunning this game, but is absolutely one of the best players we've ever seen at it. So it is fun that in this particular type of run I have at least a chance, but in most runs Jnano wins 95% of the time. So. But yeah, it's a good time.
Now, don't worry, we're not done yet. We do have potentially 2 more runs up on the docket. The next one, I will be stepping down from hosting, but if you cannot get your fill of me, then do not worry, because I will be running the run. We've seen a lot of top-level competitors. You can take this as sort of your baseline metric. I have not run in a while, and I am not as good as these people, but I think it will set an interesting point of data to see what someone who is more average is like compared to some of these great runners. Not to say that my run won't be good, because theoretically I could just do everything in less than a minute. But before we head over to break, I'm going to ask Jnano and Poetry and Polypies if they would like to shout anything out with their time.
I guess if you want to go first, Jnano.
I stream if I'm playing Peggle, I'll probably stream it, and that's just twitch.tv Jnano Onange. So my name, then it again backwards. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just want to say Jnano streams are always great because it's very mesmerizing watching him whenever, especially when he's grinding for like any percent or new game plus. As for myself, I do stream quite a bit as well at twitch.tv/PoetryStud Gaming. But recently, what I've been putting a lot of time into as well is my my YouTube channel actually, and I'm really proud of my recent stuff. I recently did a history video of Peggle Deluxe any percent, the most kind of competitive category of any of these games, and I'm really proud of how that video turned out. So if you're looking for, a speedrun history video to watch and just put on while you're doing something, I would love to see more people giving me feedback and watching that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for your input. We're going to go to a short break here.
And also Polypies, if you want to shout
I'm
yourself
sorry.
out.
I
Oh, yeah.
accidentally.
Oh yeah. No, I just I would like to say, yeah, genuinely go watch Poetry, Jnano, Satan, Stofray, all the other Peggle runners. Like, it's just good fun to just watch Peggle. It's mesmerizing in a very calming way. Yeah.
Absolutely, and that includes Polypies when he does stream as well. Super top level gaming, amazing stuff. Thank you all so much for being here. Yeah.
We're going to head into a short break now. Stay tuned. We will be back very soon.